I thought my parents had changed until I left my kids with them. I grew up in a house where affection was unpredictable and rules were absolute, and I learned early that the safest thing a child could be was invisible. I spent years telling myself that it was normal that every family had its own way of loving, and that maybe I was just too sensitive, but the moment I left home, I felt lighter, like I could finally breathe. As an adult, I built a life that was quiet and steady and intentional. And I became a mother, and I have a daughter named James. And from the very beginning, I promised myself that she would never grow up afraid of the people who were supposed to protect her. I talked things through. I explained, instead of punished. And I listened even when I was tired. And for a long time, I believed I had done it. I believed I had ended whatever had been passed down to me. My parents changed, at least that is what it looked like from the outside. They were older, calmer, more reflective. They talked about how hard parenting was and how they wished they had known better back then. They were generous with praise and gifts, and they adored James. And when they asked to spend more time with her, I convinced myself that people grow. That time softens edges and that grandparents are different from parents. When life got overwhelming, I left James with them for what was supposed to be a short and harmless stretch. And when I came back, I noticed the changes almost immediately. My daughter was quieter. She hesitated before speaking. She apologized constantly for things that did not need apologies. And she watched my face carefully like she was waiting for approval or punishment. And when I gently asked what was wrong, she said, "Grandma told me crying is manipulation." And Grandpa said, "Rules are rules." Those words landed heavier than anything else because they were familiar. They were echoes from my own childhood phrases that once taught me to doubt my feelings and swallow my fear. I realized then that nothing had really changed. The language was the same, the control was the same, and the damage was already starting to take shape in someone who trusted me to keep her safe. That was the moment I understood that cycles do not break. Just because you leave them behind, they wait and they watch. And the second you let your guard down, they reach for the next generation. And I felt a kind of anger I had never allowed myself to feel before. Because this time it was not about me. It was about my daughter James, and I was not going to pretend anymore that time alone fixes people, or that love excuses harm, and